Shaun. When you go into a game like this against NAU, obviously, but don't want to show too much of the playbook, does that put like a little extra pep in your step because that you're not going to grind the ball maybe on this game more than other games later on?
Absolutely. I thought that from a game plan standpoint, we were going in, try to be fundamentally correct, not make mistakes, get our base runs in, and I thought they did a good job executing that and keeping the penalties down. And there's a lot of growth that needs to be done in order for us to be really good, but I think it was a good first step.
I thought it was interesting that Herm just said yesterday that X was maybe a little hesitant, was really trying really hard not to make a mistake, and once he let loose, I mean, the offense was really powerful.
Absolutely. I think it's more of the chemistry, seeing who he can trust. That's the first time they've played together. I thought our guys were a little bit hesitant. I think it'll build more as that trust builds within that group, but I thought they finished off very well. We got a lot of things to work on, but it's good things that are correctable. You know, he's a very, go ahead. His internal drive, you know, his intrinsic drive. He has, he's a mature guy that knows what he wants. He's very analytical, and so he gets through his progressions really well. But on a day-to-day basis, he's the guy that I've seen watch more film in my running back room than anybody I've ever had. And I think that's from a student learner. I think that'll make him more and more special. I just go by X. I can't. I'll get it wrong. I'll butcher it.
That's what I'm saying. When he goes, I mean, that seems like kind of like a target on his back, right?
Yeah, he better be the guy. And so, but I'm excited about his growth.
Shaun, how do those guys in the running back room get along together, and how do they support each other?
You know, every year I seem to say this, but they get along very, very well. They feed off each other. They meet, as soon as the series is done, they meet together to let the other three guys know, whoever was on the field, what he could have done, what he's seeing out there. It's kind of an eerie feeling. So I kind of get the offense together. I see them kind of work together, and then I come off and see what they see. But they're helping our younger guys, and they're good role models too, especially X and Dan. You know, I saw his ability to make people miss in space. He's going to get better and better. You know, now the graduate level of me understanding what the second level and what the third level is doing, and watching more and more film and executing that part of the game instead of just figuring out what's going on that first level. He'll get better and better. But I like the way he pressed the line of scrimmage. I like the way he used his blockers. And I think that he'll get better and better the more comfortable and the more he sees it with that group of guys, the more carries he has.
Herb said after the game that he thought that you ran a little cautious early. Did you kind of see that too?
I did. You know, I just said, you know, we just got to go. He's got to trust his training. And this is what I told them in that. Trust your training. Don't do too much. Let the game come to you. You're way good enough. And then trust your line. I think that was the biggest thing, in him trusting that it will be there. And so we go back today, just when our meeting started, is trust the process and don't do too much that you think that you have to take the game into your own hands. Just trust your training, and you're good enough to make it get it done.
What was your game one impression?
You know, I thought Daniel worked well off with X. He gives him a slightly different flavor coming off of that. He's more of that sliding flasher guy. I think they both will complement each other really well going on in the future.
Is lining up 8 to 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage on certain plays, is that different for Daniel than it is for X?
I think so. We were more in the gun last year with Daniel. X comes from that power game in Wyoming. I think he sees it better being in that depth, Coach, just from that power game, that gap scheme game. He sees it and feels it. I think he does a better job in staying tight to those double teams because he's used to that. And he's getting better at the wide zone stuff that we used to running. Once he puts it all together, I think, and Daniel, especially now following X's lead on all those gap schemes, I think they'll both put it together to be pretty successful. You know, it is and we use it, hug the double team. And there's some other expletives or whatever it is. But we use that kind of thing. Stay close to that double team. And that's the proper way, I guess. Stay close to that double team and hug that. But, you got to remind those kids because they want to get wider. They see the holes. The same thing on outside zones, inside zones. It's not high school. You see the hole and hit it. Now, you need to press, set it everybody up, deliver backers, doing those kinds of things from a fundamental standpoint that the younger guys have to learn. And I think both of them will learn more and more the more carries they have. They're gonna be good up front. I think their D line is probably the core of their defense. I mean, I've seen us play against Michigan State with a 17-year-old left tackle, and so nothing scares us. But I just think that we have to make sure that we're fundamentally sound and stay on our blocks, and they're good with their hands, and so I think it's going to be a good matchup. I'm excited about that youngster, and him being in the bright lights now. He's on kickoff and doing all those things, so he's getting his bell rung a little bit, and that's good sometimes. But he has a little different speed now, and he's a 205-pound kid that I think will grow to about a 215, and he's still really, really young. But he excites me a lot, and he'll get more and more. He has to be ready to go if somebody goes down. But he's a very bright kid, very enthusiastic kid, always smiling. A great addition to our room.